Hi everyone, and welcome to the last video of this tutorial series about how to create a procedural eye inside Substance Designer 5. First of all, my apology for the previous videos where the sound was extremely low. In theory, I fixed the problem, First, in case you haven't seen the previous videos, you have the link which will appear right now on the screen. And I changed all the videos, so right now the sound should be much better, hopefully. And I'm going to try to make sure this one works the first time. Anyway, so in the previous video what we have done is making this eye texture. Basically the first video was dedicated to the sclera, which is the white part with the veins and the blood. The second and third video was dedicated to the iris here, and the ultimate video was dedicated to the pupil and the pupil animation, meaning right now we have something like this, which allow us not only to change the pupil dilatation, but as you can notice, to also adapt the iris to this dilatation, because how the eye works is that there is a muscle and you have this effect where you can see when the pupil is dilating, the iris is kind of contracting. The pupil doesn't go over the iris, they are really linked together. So that's what we have done. So we have something that already works. What we are going to focus on this video is to add a bit of color variation, and for that we are going to use a new node in Substance Designer 5, which is the dynamic gradient. There is different ways to do that, but this one works well, so let's use it. So what we are going to do is we are going to put that here, I guess, so we can have some control. So let's see how I did in the previous one, basically, because I'm going to save some time and play with that. So basically I use a gradient map. From this I made two gradients and I blend them together according to flipped 90-degree rotated gradient that I put in mask. And then I expose some of this and it works well. So let's copy part of it. Actually we're going to redo it, so okay, if I forget I will go back. So first we need a gradient. So the gradient linear that I'm going to transform first. I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to apply a 90-degree clockwise, like that. And now I'm going to do two gradients. So gradient map, that. And I'm going to duplicate this with Ctrl D. And now that's where I'm going to play a bit. So what I need, if I'm not wrong, is to add a gradient dynamic as well, which is just at the end here. Okay. So first I'm going to find some reference on the net. So let's create a page, and I'm going to type eye color. Let's see what we got. So we got a lot of stuff, of course. So let's do something like okay, for this exercise I will take this one. Once again it will be on my left screen, so oh, a nice president here. Lucky guys. Speak of you, not him. So I will take different colors here. So on my left screen. So first go back here. So let's start with this one. And on this one I'm going to focus on the brown eyes, so I'm going to create two. Here I'm going to pick a color in the brown, so let's pick something like this brown, and here another color. Once again, it's really up to you, it's just to get some variation. So even here I'm going to put something greenish. Okay, let's say it's fine, we'll tweak it later. And here it will be blue eye. So I'm picking a nice blue like that, and here I'm going to pick something different. Okay, it's better if I click on the button. Something like maybe too close. Okay, okay, not perfect, but this one I'm going to change it a bit, maybe to exaggerate. So okay, not really realistic, but that's fine for now. And now what I'm going to do is blend them together. So let's use the blend node. Okay, you pick them together and you use this mask, and you have a nice gradient of these two. So you have lots of color, different color here. Okay, so I'm going to play here. I'm going to put this something a bit more brownish. Okay, nice. And now what we're going to do is to use a gradient, dynamic gradient, like that. Grayscale input won't be this one. This will go here. I think I want vertical. Let me check. No, we'll see. Okay, let's see later. Just to make sure. It's been a long time that I didn't use it. So yeah, what we're going to take is this part here, which correspond in our graph, which is way more organized, to this. Actually, we could even try with that. Let's try with this one. Let's see. Not exactly what I want. Let's see how it goes. Just check something here. Okay, the gradient is vertical. Hope I will get what I want at some point. For some reason the input is not really contrasty as I would like. So let's try here, just to see how it goes. Okay, So now in theory, if I move this, I will change the color of the iris, but not that much. So we're going to force a bit the color here, something like that. The thing is, I guess what happened is that the background is not really affected, this part behind, so it doesn't have a big impact. So what I'm going to do, so first, okay, I will keep that this way, and instead of plugging it here, I'm going to plug it later. So okay, or what I can do is make sure that this is affected as well, the background. So, so another solution would be to place a bit more, a higher number of this. Okay, so right now, if I change the color, it should affect way more. Yeah, so right now what you would like to do is maybe to affect also the place behind. What you can do is that we are going to affect both, but separately. So first what I'm going to do is here, this color doesn't fit for sure. So let's increase the value, increase the saturation, and find another hue. There is something that doesn't blend properly. No, it's because here I guess there is this emboss. So what I should do is that many things are blending here and I'm just replacing them. So what I'm going to do is just place it here. Okay, so this is better. Right now, okay, so let's see that. Yeah, at least the color is affecting, even if there is not that much contrast here, as you can see. It's quite neutral, so what I may want to do is to play a bit with that to make sure that there is a bit more variation. You see, it's really all the same. So what I'm going to play with that gradient editor. I'm going to pick a gradient and I'm going to pick different values like that. Okay, maybe a bit more interesting. Let's say that's okay for now. What we would like to do now is here to expose this value, so we have some control. So that's something that we want to change. For example, here we may want a darker brown, something like that, even darker. And here what we want as well is to add a hue saturation lightning, so even afterwards we have some control. And finally, we have this part that we want to expose as well, because we want to control the color of that to get something. Something. Okay. So that way we can control the color of this. So right now there is some more stuff that you want to expose. First, I think here what we want, because here we have a numbers, but it doesn't, it's not really visible here. It's because this is way too strong. Okay, this is better. It was eating all the data. Okay, so what we want to make sure also is this second layer to get some control, because for a blue eye it works well, but for a dark eye it's not that good. So right now you can play with dynamic gradient and play. You have from scratch many different colors, which are quite believable, let's say, but because as you say, I keep my two gradient from blue and it's not a full gradient. It's you have a bluish one and a brownish one, which is like close to what we want. So right now, for example, what I'm going to expose is this. I'm going to use the gradient dynamic, and I will expose this, and I'm going to call it color global variation. Okay, I'm going to rename it later, but for now that's fine. Here I won't touch the hue here because it's already there. Then I'm going to change saturation and lightness. Expose global saturation. Oops, saturation. And global lightness. Like that. Okay, so this is exposed. Here, do we want to expose that? We say yes, we want to expose that. So expose iris. I'm going to call it iris background color. Okay, and finally this one we want to get control on it. So either put it here. Okay, no. I will expose the three of them. So in that case, what I will do is right click, expose parameters, view saturation, lightness, and I will say iris layer underscore. So right now we have view perfect, so it's faster this way. And finally, what I want to do is here to make sure we have the control of how much we affect this. And by the way, okay, it's affected by that. So let me check. Yeah. So how much it's there. So right now, but you see there is a problem here. Actually, it's kind of cool, but let me check if I can make them disappear completely. No. And okay, let's put one right now. So if I put one, I have this. You can play with the mask as well. It will be a bit tricky. Okay, let's say it's fine for this one. So I'm going to expose this, expose a new one. Okay, so you could decide to expose some more stuff depending on what you have done. So right now what I'm going to do is going here, and we're going to check all of this. So we have the pupil dilatation. So let's see how it goes. Up like that, we have our eyes. We may want to make some groups because it's a bit. So everything here is second layer. So iris second layer like that. I put them in the same group. And this I will put iris color for this one. Iris color. Good. Global lightness. And I will put the background as well, so we don't have too much group. So it should be fine. So global color variation, global saturation, global lightness. Perfect. Second hue, saturation, lightness, and presence. So this one I'm going to put it up here. Every second layer. Okay, so let's see. So right now we have something where we have the control of the pupil dilatation. You can play with the color this way. You can change the saturation if you want, like a really dark eye is visible. You can tweak the background color to whatever you want. So for example, if you want something like dark green, it's visible. And we can play a bit with the second layer to see how much we want it to affect. Here the color is really low, so we're going to see that. Oops, no, okay, like that for example, and we're going to change the something diminish the saturation and the lightness. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope it has been useful for you. That I invite you to comment this video, to start from this in order to make exactly what you want. There is lots of possibility, as you have seen. It's really up to you to define exactly what kind of eye you want, what kind of shape. So this is, I think, a good starting point. So I hope it has been useful for you. If you have any comment, once again, don't hesitate to use the comments to share with me your feedback. I hope the sound is fine. I'm going to check it right now, and then it should be good when you watch it. Thanks again, and have a great day.